Hello and welcome to another episode of Daily Reflections. Pastor Sean coming to you from my kitchen here tonight. It is pouring outside. Again, it has rained off and on all day, and so I thought I would bring the broadcast inside here tonight in the kitchen. And so I want to talk to you today. I was at GC today, and we had a college recruiter come in. A college recruiter from a tech school. A guy who is a automotive's headhunter. He's looking for those kids who are sharp enough and smart enough, quick enough, skilled enough to work in the auto industry and to work in the auto repair industry. And he has students that graduated from their program who are in NASCAR, who are in Monster Jam, who are in all areas, every manufacturer of automobiles, foreign and domestic. And he has all of these great connections and everything. And we were sitting there in class, and the one thing that kept coming up again and again and again is the kids had to be prepared to make a decision. They needed to make a decision. They were at a point in their life where some of them had less than 6 months before life, real life, outside of high school, slapped them in the face with decisions that needed to be made. Some of them were, 16, 18 months away, but most of them were just a few months away from needing to make a serious decision. And as I began to think about that, I thought about all of the different things that we have to work with every day, all the different decisions that need to be made left and right, and all of the different decisions that need to be made financially and physically and emotionally and spiritually, and all the different decisions that we have to make. And all of those decisions are guided by one decision. And that decision is your decision to live for Jesus Christ. Because once you begin to live for Christ, all of your other decisions fall in line with that first decision. They all fall in line because you have made that decision to live for Jesus Christ. Joshua says, "Choose this day whom you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And there's a decision made. And from that point forward, you see God affect Joshua's life in a brand new way, in a huge way. We see many times where there's a decision that has to be made. Paul is on the road to Damascus. He's struck down by a great light from heaven, and he says, "Who are you?" "I'm Jesus, whom you persecute." And he says, "Lord, what would you have me to do?" And from that point forward, from that decision, all of Paul's decisions are affected by his decision to follow Jesus Christ. So how are you making decisions today? How are you deciding what you're going to do with the rest of your life? How are you deciding what you're going to do this year? How are you deciding how you live your life? I hope that your decisions are based upon the decision to follow Christ. Because once you make that decision, everything else kind of falls into place. You will make decisions as a Christian that you would not have made as a sinner. Paul tells us, he said, "The things that I used to hate I now love, and the things that I love I used to hate." Everything that I used to be is not anymore. I'm a completely different person. I'm a new creation in Christ. The old things have passed away, and all things have become new. Therefore, we cannot be conformed to this world, but we have to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. What does that mean? That means that when we make a decision for Christ, that all the decisions after that are Christ-based decisions. They're Christian-based decisions. They're not just decisions that we make frivolously. They're prayerful, God-filled decisions. And that's how we are to live our lives. If God is not helping you make those decisions, then today's the day to start. If God is not the center focal point of your life, then today is your day. Today is the day of salvation. If you hear His voice, harden not your heart. How are you basing your decisions today? When Sister Stephanie and I decided that we wanted to buy a house, we began to pray. we prayed about whether we wanted to buy a house or not. And then when we came to the conclusion that it was the Lord's will for us to buy a house, we began to pray about how to buy a house. We began to pray about where to get financing. We began to pray about where we wanted to live, what kind of house we needed. We began to pray about all of those things because our decisions are based upon our relationship with Jesus Christ. I hope yours are as well. If not, today is the day to start. Choose this day to follow after Jesus. Choose this day to make right decisions. Choose this day to live for Jesus Christ. Coming from my kitchen this evening with Daily Reflections, this is Pastor Sean saying I love you, I'm praying for you, and I hope to see you this weekend at Irwin Hill Church of God. God bless you as always, is my prayer.